Palesa Dube of Wealth Creed in Sandton has been crowned Financial Planner of the Year for 2022-23. Palesa is a certified financial planner and director of advisory practice at Wealth Creed in Sandton. Palesa, it's an absolute honor to chat to you today.
Rianet, thank you for the opportunity. It's lovely to be here with you.
Yes, first of all, congratulations. It's a
Thank you.
fantastic achievement, and you had tough competition, but we're going to chat about that just now. So, first of all, can you share a little bit about yourself and your career journey up to now?
Yeah, so my career started back in 2004. When I was recruited to join a graduate program at a bank in financial planning. I had very little knowledge of what that was, what it would look like. I was in the market for a job, being a young graduate, and I really took the first offer that came on the table, and I just trusted the process, I guess. So getting into financial planning was interesting. I loved the knowledge I was gaining. But most importantly, I realized, I think very early on, just how valuable our profession is. And I was fortunate to be employed in great companies since then. I worked for a boutique wealth management firm for almost 10 years.
Yeah.
And it was really, really great learning ground for me to learn the way that financial planning and wealth management is meant to be done. So I value those early years in my career. And yeah, that's what has brought me so far. I spent a few more years in private wealth management firm in the private banking space before starting Wealth Creed in 2018. So
What?
that has been the 18-year journey
Wow.
to today.
What did you study, Palesa?
Well, when I went to university, I first enrolled for a BCom economics degree. And then shortly before joining, I decided, no, let's make it a BCom accounting.
Okay.
I did that for my first year. Then I decided, actually, I can't see myself as a gray-suited accountant. That's what I thought at the time. And then in my second year, I changed to a BCom majoring in investment management. And that's what I ultimately graduated in.
Okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
your journey started on the right place.
It was, yeah.
Was this a career you actually answered that you ever envisaged for yourself? I mean, what did you want to be when you grow up?
So when I changed to investment management, so what actually happened was, now I don't, you think back to our days, Rianet. First year is like general, we're all jolling, having lots of fun.
Yeah.
But at the end of the year, it's like the real reckoning, right?
Yeah.
It's the huge culling happens. So 50% of more of your friends won't make it back to second year.
Yeah.
And so I found myself in that situation as well. To be honest, I think I was a bit scared. And so when I went to the faculty office, I was looking to be saved. So I walk in, I find a booklet and it talks about investment management, and they list all the careers that one can pursue with this degree. And they talk about stockbroking, they talk about asset management. These things really, really sounded interesting to me. But looking back, you and I would know that actually I could have landed exactly where I am, even with a BCom economics degree or a BCom accounting degree. So was this the career that I envisaged for myself? It's been truly, truly rewarding. I enjoy engaging with people. I enjoy understanding what it is that they want to achieve for themselves and their families, and then using, my training, my experience to help them get there. It's very important to me for people to really be understood, and really have the confidence that they're dealing with somebody that has their best interests at heart. I always want to be in my client's corner. And when we achieve their desired outcomes, then it's really fulfilling for me. And I think that's what has carried me over the last 2 decades. So it's certainly been much more than I expected it would be.
Your clients are probably very, very happy people, because I can really see that you have a passion for what you do, and you've got a passion for your clients and putting them on the best journey possible. So it's fantastic to hear. We all know the importance of what you guys do. How do we get more people to choose this as a career and see the importance, and maybe not even the career, but the importance of financial planning?
Well, I think firstly we have to be honest about our journey, right? And why we still have to be having this conversation. I mean, you don't have to convince people to be engineers or to convince people to be accountants, but our profession has evolved. And I think it's somewhat of a young career, right? I mean, when I started, the conversation at the time was around professionalizing, moving from a product-led environment to more of a client and advice led type of environment. And I always say this, that we need to commend the FPI and those that have been involved in the process in trying to, professionalize our industry. And so I think those are one of the important steps that we need to overcome, for our designation to be protected, for people to know and understand clearly what a certified financial planner is. What's the difference between a financial planner and a broker? What can I expect from my engagement with a financial planner? So that's part of the groundwork that we first need to overcome. And then it will be easy, because then you're going to be finding people that are eager to enter into our profession. So there's still a bit of work to do, and that's part of the work that I'm going to be embarking on with the FPI, particularly to appeal to young people to see financial planning as a career of choice. We also want to see more women entering the profession, because I really think, we are naturally, gifted and able to work in this environment and make a success of it.
I've recently had a few conversations with women in financial planning, and we exactly mentioned the fact that there are far too little women in this industry, in this career, and what we offer as women in terms of financial planning is a lot more than we credit ourselves for.
Yeah.
So I actually want to start a whole monthly series where we talk about women in financial planning.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely make contact with you once we embark on that journey next year. That's a plan for the new year.
I'd love to.
Yes. So the financial planning planner of the year, was this a competition that you've always wanted to do? Was it your first time that you entered this year?
So it was my first time entering this year, and it entered my sights. I mean, you've seen your Warren Ingrams and so forth, fulfilling this, winning this competition and doing a great job of it. So it's certainly been in my horizon, but I wrote it down in my goals for the year. I think about 2 years ago. But it was something that I thought, I will do. I've told the story a number of times to say, I actually decided very last minute to enter this year. And jeepers, I didn't expect to go this far, but I'm really thrilled at the opportunity. So it was certainly somewhere, it was going to happen somewhere in my career. I'm very chuffed that it's happened now.
Well, please briefly share the process with us. Okay, now you've made the decision, you're entering. What now?
So there are a couple of rounds that you have to go through. The first one is a simple application form. So, telling the FPI and the judging panel about yourself in a, written format, accompanied by a short video where they ask you 3 or 4 questions. And then you make it to the second round. The second round is then where you have to submit an actual financial plan that you've done for a client that covers at least 4 areas in financial planning. So like estate planning, tax planning, retirement, and so forth. And there's a specific criteria or format that they want you to follow in submitting your portfolio of evidence. So it's the plan itself, but it's also accompanied by various things that you would give to the client. So how you they are looking to understand how your entire financial planning process. So they want to understand, what does your first engagement look like? How do you gather information? And how do you then use that information to feed into the plan that you ultimately put together for a client? They want to see your engagement afterwards. They want to see how you interpret and ultimately advise a client as far as those areas are concerned. So it's an involved process, and I think you can imagine you are really putting yourself out there, because the judging panel is made up of FPI management. It's made up of, academics, people that really, really know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And then, of course, all of us can enter, financial planners throughout South Africa. So, yeah, you're essentially putting yourself out there, putting your work out there to be judged. So that's the second round. So based on that, then the judges, filter the candidates, and then you go to the third round. The third round is then a panel interview. So again, you are questioned and interviewed by FPI senior management. There's some industry experts in there as well. And then the final, so once you are successful there, you go to the next round, which is another panel interview. So it is quite an involved process, and you can understand why I would be really so honored to have made it.
It is indeed a massive, massive accolade. What was, Palesa, the toughest and then also the most rewarding part of this journey for you?
You mean the competition itself?
Yes, yes.
It was really rewarding, fulfilling to see that we are actually on the right track as Wealth Creed. Yes, if I look at the financial plan itself, we had to tweak it there and there to make sure that it meets, the requirements that have been set out in the competition rules, but there actually wasn't that much tweaking. So for me as a financial planner, it gives me the confidence to say, actually, we're doing the right things in Wealth Creed. And, we're on the right track as a business, and we're doing the right things for our clients. So to have then come out of the competition victorious, I think is a massive affirmation and accolade for us. But I think most importantly, it should send a good message to our clients to say that, maybe we know what we're talking about.
Yeah. 100%.
We know what we're talking about, but most importantly, that we're actually doing right by them. So that was a great affirmation for me.
The tough part?
The tough part is while you're going in there blind, Rianet, and you're going up against the entire South Africa. So you really don't know, well, is my work really up to standard? How am I going to fare, against everybody else? Preparing for the panel interviews was also tough. I mean, to be interviewed by academics, these are people that really, really know what they're talking about. So to have to then, articulate yourself well in that kind of setting is tough. So the competition itself is daunting. But, you know, if I can give anybody listening some encouragement, is to say, actually, you know, if you're doing the work and you're doing it in a correct manner, then you are 75% there. You're closer to it than you actually think you are.
Wow, how big is your team, Palesa?
At the moment, there's still two of us. So Gugu and I look after our portfolio of clients. We have support staff that then help us in managing the portfolio.
What does winning mean?
Well, it definitely gives one a confidence boost. It gives me the confidence also to be able to go into the market, to be able to sit in front of a client and say, actually, you know, what we're doing is in line with what the FPI as a starting point is wanting to see financial planning being done for the broader public. So it is really yeah, a huge accolade, and it says to us that we are really on par with your big brands out there, with institutions that have been in operation for much longer than we are. So it certainly gives us, you know, a great amount of confidence.
It's really awesome. So on a side issue, what's your views on mentorship?
You know, as you'd expect, so with this, with me now having been given this award or won this competition, so I am getting a number of requests to say, you know, can you mentor us? I think it's vital, particularly, you know, because of where we want to see the industry. You know, I've said before that part of the reason why I put up my hand for either, you know, volunteer opportunities within the FPI or speaking to young people, we have to be prepared as those that have been in the industry for a while. 2 decades is a long time. But we need to take the responsibility amongst, you know, on ourselves to rear and nurture young talent to come into the profession. If our industry and our businesses are going to be sustainable into the future, we have to take an active role in ensuring that that happens. And mentorship is an important element of that. So it's certainly something that I am going to be taking up on a much more active basis going forward, but also in aid of growing Wealth Creed as a business.
We need more people like you, Palesa. Your peers are our audience.
Yeah.
Any message to them, advisors, brokers, planners?
Yeah, so I think as I've mentioned, you know, our work is when you're studying, like for your CFP, you know, designation or your degree, you learn about estate planning, you learn about retirement annuities and tax planning. You know, these things can be really boring, but our job gives us the opportunity to sit in front of people, to sit in front of families, and see how this knowledge can actually change their lives. I mean, is there a better job?
No.
I don't think so. So, you know, if you are doing this and you've been doing it if you are in financial planning and you've been doing it for a while, I want to tell you that you are actually readier than you think you are. And I'd like to encourage them to enter the competition. If you're in the industry and you're not a certified financial planner or a member of the FPI, I'd like to encourage you to be, because again, I think it's important, and the onus is on all of us to help in changing or driving the perception of financial planning out there. And it starts with the little things that we do. It starts with how we engage with our clients. It starts with how we deliver our service to our client. And an important step is professionalizing, getting the, you know, correct designation, correct qualifications and all of that. And then, you know, entering competitions like this. I think all of it feeds so well into what we're ultimately trying to achieve for our profession. So let's all do our best every day, and it all adds up at the end of the day.
Thank you. That's awesome words of wisdom, Palesa. Thank you for your time this morning. It was absolutely fabulous to get to know you a little bit better, and it's so nice to see your passion. I love it. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Rianet. Thank you so much.